Hey guys, Brian here with Westwell Auto Glass, working on a 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee. Trying something a little different here. As far as content goes, anyways. Using the WRD bat to cut this one out. Talking to someone the other day, I kind of brought up an issue because he said he had a technician that religiously uses like wire and fiber line tools, and I asked him a question, and it's something that I'm kind of curious about, and I'm going to show you here in a second after I cut this out. So let me go ahead and get to this, and then I'll kind of throw the question at you once I get the windshield out. Oh, I forgot the lock. That would help. Well, plus I got that little bit of fabric that's still left up there that needs to come around. So let me hook this up. There it goes. All right, perfect. All right, let me move this over. Let's see. Boop. Oh, did I go the wrong way? There we go. No wires. All right. Lock that side. Oh, I gotta be that way. There we go. Now, right now, I've got this line. I pushed the retainer off of the glass. I don't know if you noticed I have the cowl still on because this is the type of setup to where you can basically use the cowl as a setting block and then lift the cowl and then lock the cowl into the retainer. So I pushed it off for the most part. It's still glued in the very center, but I was able to run my line underneath the glass past that retainer, especially like in the center point. So oh, come on now. Hmm. Oh, wrong way again. Come on now. Ooh. Alright, let me try this by hand. Finish it up by hand. I think I'm getting caught on a pin. I busted through that first one, but the second one is... I need I normally wouldn't cut these out this way. I'm really only kind of doing it for demonstration. All right, it is not wanting to break through that pin. Let's see. They always say you're supposed to go at a 45-degree angle, but I don't think I'm going to get that on this one. At least an easy. Let me move it. It's trying to avoid this tint, but hey, yep, look at that. I was caught on the stupid pin. All right. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I've got a concern for people that use stuff like this religiously and on every single job. And it's just been my experience, and it's a reason why I don't personally like using fiberline tools all the time. All right. So anytime we cut out a windshield and trim, we do the full cut method. Okay, and now looking at this probably isn't the best example vehicle, but when you use a fiberline tool, it tends to cut really close to the pinch weld. And what happens is when you go to trim, you don't really have a whole lot of urethane to be able to grab a hold of, to pull onto, to do a test of that retention between the adhesive and the clear coat, or even between the clear coat and the paint, or the paint in the body even. So what happens is like, say for example, and I'm sure everyone's experienced this, you're going to trim your glue and you start to get urethane to pull up because you have one of those failures. And then say you get like a section across the top, maybe, you know, 8 to 10 inches, say, okay, to where it doesn't pull up like the rest of it did. But then once you go to scrape on it, it scrapes off really easy. You don't really have the tension on this urethane to be able to test that bond if it's cutting so close to the body. You don't have enough to grab a hold of, because once you start pulling on this, it's just gonna break. Something to think about: if somebody knows an adequate response to how that can be addressed, let me know in the comments. I'd appreciate it. Just kind of, you know, something that I wanted to put out there and see if anybody had a response to it. This is just going to be a quick video. I'm going to end it here, finish up this job. Follow for more content if you like what you see, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you guys. Hey, I'm here at my storage unit, and just wanted to add a few notes to the 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee that I did yesterday, pertaining to, you know, really all wire and fiberline tools. Had that been a situation to where it did cut close to the body, I do know how to address it. I just wanted to see, you know, everyone else's take on, you know, in the event that it cuts close to the body, and then you know, the issues arise to where you do have like a paint or clear coat pull, you know, what people do to, you know, as reassurance of that there's not been an issue in the event that it doesn't. So like, you know, when I was referring to the two sections at the top to where it does pull, and then you have that section across the, you know, the center to where it doesn't, you know, but you still have that thin skin, you know, what are you doing to get that pulled up? You know, are you scraping it down to the E-coat? You know, the other issue is, you know, you got to be careful that you don't scrape too much, that you get down to the metal. And if you do, that you're addressing that as well too. Just kind of wanted to add a few more pieces of commentary to this. I didn't want, you know, it to be thought that I didn't know how to handle the situation. It's just a concern of mine, just because, you know, I've been out on jobs that have been, you know, I'm doing it for the second or third or fourth or however many times it's been done before, and I'm trimming, and, you know, I'm doing my test pull while I'm cutting my glue, and it peels right up. you know, and I have to ask the question, you know, how did that person do their job? You know, did they use a wire or fiber line tool? And if they did, you know, did they do a pull test? And, you know, I mean, it's almost apparent that they didn't, you know, or if they didn't use a wire or fiber line tool, were they couldn't have been doing a pull test. You know, they were just obviously cutting along just to trim the glue off and not actually doing anything to test the retention. So just, you know, wanted to add those few pieces to it. Let me know your thoughts, and I would appreciate it. Thank you.